My friends, let me tell you, when somebody has got a gun on his waist, you cannot argue with that person.
Welcome back again to the African Streamline. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for always being here. Thank you for coming all the times. Yeah, things are getting hotter. So if you have not seated well, find a place, sit down, and let's enjoy the show.
Kenya is giving me the worth of my data. I like the energy, they go wow, wow, wow. Nigeria, you too. 30 days challenges, so no. Don't get one when I defeat you. Why celebrities not talking first? Celebrities should be talking first. Why celebrities? Celebrities are wicked. Who will talk first? Who will talk first? Look at Kenya. Look at Kenya using inhaling tear gas. Oh God, they are chasing it. They are saying, do your worst now. Here we day. It's our country. Period. Soldier go wipe them parts in. They go chest down. They go shoot bullet. They go dodge. You see, that is what I said. We don't go get. We don't go get down. That is how it should be. And it's one person, the government will win. And it's everybody, the government will run. Oh God. When the rich will turn, they go say, hey, they don't pay our money. One idiot will come from nowhere. I say, hey, they protest, or they don't pay our money. I want to go to Kenya. African leaders don't deserve peace. You want to come and say again, hey, now Igbo people, they gather do more. Hey, Yoruba not join. Hausa not join that time. Hey, what they want? And disunity, they smell. People are the reason why we are where we are. Imagine Yoruba come and say, why they do Igbo man like this? Hausa come and say, why they do Yoruba like this? We're not agree. Oh God, oh my God. Nigeria, that great day when it go be, see Kenya and trenches. Imagination what keep me. We'll look at the military and say, step aside. Give us chance. You're not our problem. But if you insist, no wala, we'll pass through you.
Guys, I think it is time we call Kenyans the giant of Africa. Yes, I think it is time we give Kenyans the name the giant of Africa. Did you see what happened to Kenya on the 25th of June? Did you see what happened? Not just in Nairobi. All the areas in Kenya, in fact, villages, all the small counties came out to protest against bad government. They were shouting, Ruto must go, Ruto must go. They were shouting. They even made a missile. They call it Gen Z missile. This is a video here. Watch and see. I think Kenya is the only country in Africa that when they wake up in the morning and say, we are going to protest, they are going to protest. The rest of us are just children. The rest of us are just scared. We are scaredy little cats in Africa. We need to leave this continent, Africa, for Kenya to fix it, and then they call us to come back. Because right now, Kenyans are the only people that can fix Africa. One love Kenya. Keep showing Africa what it means to be courageous, what it means to have power as the people of the country.
Why am I saying we should find a place, sit down, and enjoy the show? Some people would think I'm joking with the situation that is in Africa right now, but I'm calling it a show because Capt.Ibrahim Traore stood up once upon a time and he said, "We need a better Africa. We need a beautiful Africa. We need a wonderful and a nice Africa." And he spoke to leaders. He told them it is high time we should stop entertaining and embracing Western powers. We should stop being puppets to the West. We need to stand up by ourselves and say no to imperialism, no to corruption, no to greediness, no to letting our people cry no to the exploitation, no to oppression, no to theft and all that. But many leaders felt like this was a joke. Many leaders tend not to listen to Capt.Ibrahim Traore. Some stood out and they began saying, this leader is just somebody who is a terrorist. He has taken power through coup in his country. He doesn't care about his people. Yeah, he's just someone who is greedy of power and all that. And many people even got to a point of insulting Capt.Ibrahim Traore. People of Africa loved him. People of Africa, they stood by him and they said, if there is a leader that they need, it is Capt.Ibrahim Traore. But these other puppets, because it is very hard for them to listen to the people or for them to do what is right, they began saying Capt.Ibrahim Traore is not the right person. And Capt.Ibrahim Traore went quiet because he never wanted to force them. Capt.Ibrahim Traore is a godsend because Capt.Ibrahim Traore saw a change that is coming. And he opened the eyes and the ears of the leaders who are in Africa today. He opened their eyes for them to see the change that is coming. He opened their ears for them to hear the sound of a change that was about to come. You can call him a prophet, wherever you want to call him. You can call him the Savior. You can call him God sent. You can call him whatever the name you want to call him. You can call him fortune teller, because everything he saw and everything he said, it is now beginning to happen. Capt.Ibrahim Traore has taken over the whole of Africa. Not Kenya, not Uganda, not Tanzania, not Libya alone, not Cameroon alone, not Senegal alone, but every single black people, both in Africa and diaspora, they know Capt.Ibrahim Traore as their only leader. They do not have any other leader. It is only Capt.Ibrahim Traore. But today, I want to focus on Kenya because I have some evidence about Kenya. I have some evidence about some other countries in Africa, but most likely the country of Kenya. Capt.Ibrahim Traore has taken over Kenya. I can tell you that for a fact. Capt.Ibrahim Traore was hated by many leaders. And where did this hate come from? Where did this hate began from? This hate began from a point when he said he can no longer be a president who supports democracy, which is nothing but oppressing the people of Africa.
Whether you're a Democrat or not, how can you impose democracy by killing millions of people? It's a dictatorship, not democracy. You can't impose it. Those who call themselves Democrats have seen scenes where people were prevented from joining assemblies. We've seen scenes where forces landed in assemblies to force deputies to take texts. We've seen more terrible scenes where people kill their demonstrators. But they call themselves Democrats, and we're called Persians. If that's democracy, I repeat, we don't want this democracy. And when you see incompetence, they don't seek to know what the real meaning of the word democracy is. They cling to the definition given to them by imperialism and start talking about democracy without really knowing the basics. That's incompetence. You have to know, look at the world to redefine democracy as we want it in Africa. Incompetence hides behind freedom. Remember, there is no individual freedom. It's a fact.
Kenya is one of the countries that have really suffered under the rule of democracy. Kenya has really suffered under this a foolish thing called democracy. Something that was brought to us by the Western people, by the imperialists. The same people who brought this democracy to us, they don't even use the same democracy. You've heard Shahid Bolson confirming America is not a democratic country. America is being ruled by the people who are rich, people who can at least stand for themselves. These are the people who are leading America. But this same America is the country that is encouraging African countries to be democratic countries, simply because they want to continue exploiting, manipulating them. They want wars to continue in Africa every other year so that it can be easy for them to continue exploiting Africa.
Oh, America isn't a democracy. America is an oligarchy. It's a plutocracy. It's ruled by the rich, of the rich, by the rich, and for the rich. Democracy in America is just a smokescreen. It's a charade that they perform every election cycle just to pacify you, to make you believe that you have some stake in the system. But I mean, look at the reality. For roughly the first 100 years of American so-called democracy, only white male property owners could vote. The so-called land of the free was built on the exclusion of the vast majority of its people from the democratic process. This gradually expanded to include all white males and then theoretically black males, but not in practice, in theory. Eventually, they had to grant the vote to women and Native Americans. Imagine that. The indigenous people of that land were the last to be given the right to vote in that land. What kind of democracy is that? But they never wanted power in the hands of the people. As the franchise of voting expanded to include those who were not white male property owners, the real power moved further and further away from the democratic process. They dangled the right to vote in front of you to make you think that you're a participant in power. But they kept the real power in the hands of the wealthy elite, more and more so over the years. As the right to vote expanded, the relevance of the vote contracted. I said no one ever intended for power to be in the hands of the people, and it never has been. I mean, just look at how money controls politics in America today. The Supreme Court's decision on the Citizens United case opened the floodgates for corporate money in elections. Billionaires and corporations pour millions and millions of dollars into political campaigns, drowning out the voices of ordinary people, of the whole electorate. They're hiring candidates. They're writing laws. They're purchasing policies that serve their interests. This isn't democracy, it's oligarchy. When a handful of wealthy individuals can dictate policy and sway elections, obviously democracy doesn't exist. Politicians just do a tour of duty in government to prove their loyalty to their funders before moving to highly paid positions in the private sector, working then for the same people that they worked for all along. The democracy they have is the one they always intended to have, which is one in which only the rich and the owners of the society have any say. You have the right to free speech only because no one listens to you. And where has this led? Where has this system of yours led? Well, it's led to the only place that ever could lead. It's led to the creation of an unaccountable oligarchical elite who don't see you as anything but entries in their accounting books, either as assets that they own or liabilities that they need to eliminate. And through globalization, this nation within a nation, because that's all the rich are, just a nation within a nation, they became a global nation. They became an empire. And America is just one of the territories under their sovereignty. Oh, they colonized you. America became a colonized country, conquered by their very own monopolistic plutocratic elites. And they're subjugating you and the entire collective West the same way that you colonized and subjugated our countries. They've created global institutions, imperial institutions like BlackRock, like Vanguard, like State Street. That's why I talk about the owners and controllers of global financialized capital. The owners organized institutions of control, and that's what BlackRock is. BlackRock is like the Ministry of Imperial Expansion. It's like the colonial office of the old British Empire. And we in the global South, in the Muslim world, recognize it as such. Nobody likes BlackRock. Nobody likes the fact that we have to deal with this now, this predatory monster that you made, that your system created, because you created the most insane wealth gap in history. You know, you brag about how brilliant your economy is, how your brilliant economy has created more billionaires than any other economy, as if that's a sign of economic health, not economic deformation. You know, you don't say that about anything else. For anything else, such kind of a disproportion like that is seen as ugly and unnatural, like if someone has abnormally large teeth or something, or like those guys who lift weights in the gym but only work upper body muscles, so they have little spindly chicken legs. Your economy is a mutant. The point of a healthy economy is not to produce huge disparity, but you brag about it. Even as you hate BlackRock, while you made BlackRock, you created this class. You created this nation of parasitic wealth hoarders and the institutions they use to organize their economic power. The institutions of the feudal elite. The institutions that they use to consolidate and expand their control over everything. Well, nobody likes it, but you did it. You created this super predator, and now we all have to deal with it. And of course, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, it's not the first time you did something like this. The East India Company, the United Fruit Company, they were earlier versions of these types of institutions, these institutions of economic imperialism. And of course, for all of these institutions, the current ones and the previous ones, their main business has always been war and pillage. Because the fact is, you've never really come up with another way to make money. All your technology is only made possible by vicious exploitation, slavery, and violence. You know, it bewilders me. Every argument that Westerners make to substantiate their claim that their so-called civilization is superior, every argument is materialistic. We have nice things. We invented all the technology of the modern world and so on. You don't realize that when you make that argument to the global south, well, we're living in the background where all that technology comes from. It comes from our minerals, our rare earths, our mines, our ravaged environments, and our subjugated labor. We're living in the part of that.
Many people have tried to make Capt.Ibrahim Traore look like a bad person. Many people have tried to make Capt.Ibrahim Traore look like a bad person, especially African politicians, and most especially those who are puppets to the West. They've tried their level best to make Capt.Ibrahim Traore look bad to the people of Africa. But because the existing generation understands the tricks, it understands all the methods they've been using all the years, the existing generation cannot be manipulated. Kenyan Prime Minister says Capt.Ibrahim Traore is not a good president. He is only getting respect because he is walking with a gun. He is walking with a weapon around. But he is not a good president, and even people in Burkina Faso do not love Capt.Ibrahim Traore. And I want to answer him. You are very wrong. Because in Burkina Faso, people are not demonstrating like how people are demonstrating in Kenya because of your incompetency, irresponsibility, and theft and corruption. Listen to this Prime Minister.
My friends, let me tell you, when somebody has got a gun on his waist, you cannot argue with that person.
The Kenyan Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, who is an equivalent of a Prime Minister in other countries, has ridiculed and castigated the three Alliance of Sahel States presidents, that is Capt.Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, General Assimi Goïta of Mali, and General Abdurrahman Chiani of Niger, over what he describes as their illegitimate and draconian or rather non-democratic presidencies.
My friend, it's artificial intelligence.
The Prime Minister is also the country's...
I want to tell you the reason as to why President William Ruto, together with the Kenyan corrupt politicians, hate Capt.Ibrahim Traore. Capt.Ibrahim Traore has taken over Kenya, whether you like it or not. Capt.Ibrahim Traore, I don't know more about many other countries, but I know many countries in Africa, and all black people in Africa, they support Capt.Ibrahim Traore. But Capt.Ibrahim Traore has taken over Kenya. Do you know what is happening in Kenya right now? What is happening in Kenya right now is demonstrations after demonstrations after demonstrations. If you think I'm lying, if you come to Kenya today, people are singing the songs of revolutions left, right, center. Every time they are singing the songs of revolution. Left, right, center. The songs of revolution. The walls of Kenya are listening to the voices of the youths in Kenya. Because youths in Kenya, they have decided they are going to live in a country that respects them, in a country that is accountable, in a country that is responsible, in a country that there is justice, in a country where there is no police brutality, in a country where their voices are going to be heard, in a country where their resources can no longer be exploited and be sold out, and at the end of the day, they continue and they remain to be poor. They are going to live in a country where education sector has been raised, where agricultural sector has been raised, where food security is checked, where hospitals and health issues are checked. That is what Kenyan youths have decided. But do you know how it started? It started from the day Captain Traore said, "We must fight."
We are going to fight. That is certain. We may suffer, but we need a bit of patience, that's all. Because the situation has significantly deteriorated so much over several years. We must go with great force so that it cannot come back later. When we resolve it, it's once and for all, permanent. We are gathering everything necessary and essential needed to open the different and various routes that connect the states of the AES. And they are fighting to prevent these routes from opening. Because AES is a nightmare for them, it must not happen. We must not integrate in any way at all. However, we will ultimately defeat them in the end. In any case...
And all the Kenyan youths, together with me, we decided we are not going to be afraid. We are going to fight for what belongs to us. We are going to fight for what is right. And that is why if you walk and if you come to Kenya today, you're going to hear, you're going to listen to the songs of revolution because they have decided. Traore spoke. We are going to execute. Take a look.
This is what it looks like in London, outside the Kenyan embassy. See the difference? The UK police are there protecting the people from the cars on the road. They've created a shield to protect people from overspeeding on the road. Not hacking them, not killing them, but protecting them not to fall over into the main road. They've created a shield there, and a shield again outside the embassy. Peacefully, people are singing, got their placards. That's Kenyan Embassy, Kenyan High Commission in London.
Now listen up. Right now in Kenya, people respect Capt.Ibrahim Traore than even their own president. The pictures of Capt.Ibrahim Traore are circulating all over Kenya. In slums, in cities, in villages, in public transportations. Pictures and images of Capt.Ibrahim Traore are circulating all over. Printers are printing Capt.Ibrahim Traore images all over. It is in the walls, in the streets. And that one has sent Kenyan government in a very big fear, because the Kenyan government fears that the youths in Kenya and the youths in this country, they can take over anytime, because the country belongs to them and the power belongs to the people. But how will it happen? It will happen because of the influence of Capt.Ibrahim Traore. Because Capt.Ibrahim Traore said, we must take out all the bad leaders and replace them with the good leaders who are responsible and who have the interests of people at heart. And because Kenyans know how to take assignment, they are doing the assignment they were given with Capt.Ibrahim Traore. Take a look at these pictures. Those are images of Capt.Ibrahim Traore. It started a long time ago. It is adding. The more the days go, the more the days count, the images keep on adding and circulating in Kenya. Kenyans themselves, they are talking. They are saying that Capt.Ibrahim Traore is the real deal. And the whole of Africa is beginning to respond. The whole of Africa is beginning to understand. And that one sends fear to the West. It sends fear to the Kenyan government, and it sends fear to all African puppets who exist. Because when they see what is happening in Kenya, it is also making them hot. They want to also go out and begin fighting for what belongs to them. Africa has decided that the freedom we want, the independence we want, we are going to get it. We can no longer live like this. We can no longer stay like this. We can no longer be driven the way we are being driven by the puppets and corrupt politicians who are leading us today. We must be a free country. We must be a free continent where there is justice, there is no police brutality, there is infrastructure development, there is industrialization, there is factorialization, there is good schools, there is good health sector, and every other thing. There is food security and all that. We have decided. We know it's not going to be easy. We know we have to fight. But we must fight. Homeland or death. We must fight. And that is why today I decided, to the honor of Capt.Ibrahim Traore, let me also put on Capt.Ibrahim Traore's attire to honor Capt.Ibrahim Traore, because Captain Traore has opened the eyes of many, many, many black people and many Africans. If we are to get independent today, the real independent, not these the purported independence, if we are to get the real independence today, the person that we need to turn to and say thank you to him is the one and only Capt.Ibrahim Traore. All love to him. All love to him. He is the person, the president of the people. He loves people. He takes care of people. He respects people. He protects people. And people also protects him. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you put in our heads. One thing we know, our leader is Capt.Ibrahim Traore. And he has brought change in the continent of Africa. Tell me what you think of the comment section. I'll do my best to make sure I read all the comments and give a response where possible. I am Atamba Haiti. This is the African Streamline. Tell you every day, anything that concerns Africa concerns me and you as black people. If it's your first time to be here, don't forget to subscribe. For the returning subscribers, I salute you. God bless.